You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.
Stupid.
Hey, Bronny,
I should have pooped before we started this, but
is that right the way I want it?
yeah.
You should have pooped?
Yeah, but it's all right.
You could just squeeze it.
But like, it's so uncomfortable holding in a poop for an hour.
Bronny, I'm so sorry, everybody. This is not how they want to start hearing this about us. I don't think it's appropriate.
It's not inappropriate. It's poop. We all poop.
All right, so you poop later.
There's that book that you read when you're a kid. Everybody poops.
Everyone does poop, even if you don't read the book.
I know, but now it's like I'm going to be slightly uncomfortable for the next hour. But hey, it is what it is. I'm a soldier, if you will.
Yeah, that's a soldier. That's a soldier.
Power through the poop.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
All right, what's going on?
Nothing.
No?
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
You're a strange bird. So you getting ready for Japan?
Well, I'm there already. The whole point is to kind of like pretend that these weren't recorded a little early, but then you give away the... Right?
So you want to start over?
Because last episode you also said, are you getting ready for Japan?
Want to start over?
No, it's fine. That's just how we roll.
All right.
But now 2 weeks in a row, you just said, are you getting ready for Japan? And it's like...
So you could be getting ready.
But the whole point was to be kind of slip
it under the rug. Did you ever hear the song Made in Japan?
No.
You never heard of it? Play it. It's a great song.
We're going to get demonetized if I play 2 seconds of it.
And you need every penny you can get.
Yeah, exactly.
Made in Japan. I think, who sings
that? You just sing it for us. How about that?
I don't know. Get me the words. I'll sing it.
I think that's inappropriate. I don't think our listeners want to start that way.
We don't have to. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
I know the song Turning Japanese.
What's that?
It's another song. I'm not going to sing it. You probably have. It was pretty big. It's from the 80s.
I'm sure I heard it.
I think it's called Turning Japanese or Speaking Japanese. Something. It's like a very 80s song. It was like an 80s one-hit wonder.
I like the 80s one-hit wonders. Like 99 Luft's Balloons.
Yeah, by Nina or Xena.
Whatever the name is.
Yeah.
Good song.
And then the 99 Red Balloons, the American version by Goldfinger.
Different singer?
Yeah, it was the rock version by Goldfinger, and it's a great song.
Really? And it's a different one?
It's the same song. It's just a cover, a rock cover. And it's like hard rock, but 2000s fun rock kind of.
Holy shit, I don't know that. Unless I know it, I just don't know. I'm not connected.
Well, it's the same song, so you would be like, oh, I know this song, but so it was by Goldfinger, and then that was the band. It was the song that my band played at our high school. Was it high school? No, middle school. It must have been middle school. At our middle school graduation party at Eric Waldman's house.
Do you have a video of it?
No, there's a video somewhere. But our band was called Last to Leave, and it was middle school graduation
same bar mitzvah
party.
band?
No, but AJ and Zach were also in it. It was me,
same
AJ,
name?
Zach.
Same name?
No, that was Drawing a Blank. That was my first band, Drawing a Blank. And this was Last to Leave. Those are both good names. I stand by
them. They are good names.
But it was AJ, Zach, me, Eric, Adam Shapiro, and Brandon Halim.
Okay.
And we played, it was at Eric's house in his backyard, and we played in the garage. The whole grade was there.
Oh, I would love to have seen
it. And it was a pool party at night.
Were you guys the shit?
And we all played in his garage in our bathing suits because it was like a pool party. And we went and bought 99 red balloons. We blew them up, and that was on the floor of the garage. And we played the Goldfinger version.
How come I'm only hearing about this now?
There are pictures on my Facebook somewhere, like deep in my Facebook. If someone wants to go find
deep in
them.
my face.
And deep in the Facebook, back in 20.
Are you able to find?
Wait, I graduated high school 2014, so it was middle school. No, it must have been high school. No, it was middle school.
Are you having a conversation with yourself? Are you able to find your bar mitzvah band when you did it on video?
The bar mitzvah band? Yeah, well, it's on that DVD, which is somewhere.
Oh, I would love to play that.
I think it's in your safe.
Yeah, I would love to play that. It was hysterical.
It was great. We felt like the shit. I was on bass. Adam was singing. AJ was on guitar. It was fun.
No, it would be because think about it. Your senior year?
No, it was 8th grade. It was going into high school. We were about
so
to
you
start
were
high
the
school.
shit then.
We were about to start high school. And we were literally a garage band because we played in his garage and everyone stood on his driveway and listened to us.
How great is that?
It was pretty sick. We only had the one song though.
And then it was done.
We only had one song and they were like, okay, let's go back to... And that was that night, whoa, this is all. That night was the first time I ever encountered alcohol at a party. I remember someone had a bottle of Fireball and was passing it around to people. I don't remember who it was.
Did you take a swig?
No, I didn't. I remember
Bronny, I'm so proud.
I remember like 10, and I swear, like I would tell you. The statute of limitation is past that.
You're not punished, right? But I'm proud of you.
Not everyone, like 10 people were standing around in a circle. I remember it was like ingrained into my head, and they were passing it around and just taking a sip. And everyone was like, ugh, but like forcing themselves to do it. And then I think also that was the first night. It was a big party, eventful, because that was the first time like someone got a hand job was that night. Alejandro, I'm not going to say his last name, and I'm not going to say the girl who did it, who gave it to him, but
did the parents
because I still like am friends with her.
Did the parents know alcohol was being served?
I don't know. It was just like literally a bottle. Not even a big one. It was like one of those small ones, you know? Like someone's older brother probably got it for them or something. It was very early, you know? It was like no one was doing that stuff.
Hand job.
Because we were 8th grade in other schools is probably more advanced.
Prevalent.
But we were a small little nerdy private school, you know? So it was like we were behind on things a lot in terms of like, you know, raunchy, bad things. And that night also, we all slept over Eric's, and it was the first sleepover that was like girls and boys. Like 20 guys slept over, and like 12 girls slept over.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
in separate rooms.
We didn't allow that in our household.
But you were aware that was happening because Eric's parents were like, yes, we're here. We're letting everyone.
And you're a boy. I'm not stressed over a boy. Yeah. I know it sounds terrible, but if it was a daughter, I'm like, you're not sleeping over.
Yeah.
I would not let my daughter sleep over even in separate rooms.
Yeah. But it was all like, here's the thing. It was all the girls that were there. You've known them since you were
friends.
You've known them since I was 4 years old.
Yeah, they're all like,
you know, it was like Jackie and Jesse and
get
Danny.
it, yeah.
It's like all the girls that like you've known forever. So you're not like
anyone with an E at the end.
And it's all the guys that you know forever. So you're not like worried. You know what I mean?
But
like
you're still teenage boys.
Yeah, that's true.
You gotta satisfy that urge.
Yeah, I mean, there was a hand job done that night, but it was at the party, not after the party.
That's funny.
In the outdoor shower. But from Alejandro got it. He was like the first at least that we knew of in the grade. We all knew about it at the party too, which is so
that's fucking great.
Awkward. And then also that night, Sam Toffler.
Why mention names?
I don't know. I guess I don't have to mention the names. Sam, we found like a can of Dust Off. You know Dust Off? Like the spray for your keyboard.
Yeah.
That you buy at Office Depot or whatever. We read online, or it was like a rumor that was going around or something that like if you hold it upside down and you spray it, like is dangerous. It's like a weapon. So you're like, what? We got to try this. So we found it in Eric's dad's office, in his like home office. And we were like, Sam was like chasing people around holding it upside down because we were all so afraid of it. It was like an urban legend that we were like, oh no, if you hold it upside down, you're going to burn my arm off or something. Like, so, but then this girl, Nicole, she was like, you all are being such, oh my God, this is so funny. She was like, you all are being such pussies here. And she stuck her leg out.
And she burned it.
And he was like, okay, I'll do it. And he, to this day, she has a scar about this big, a discoloration on her skin right here on her leg.
I bet she wishes she didn't do it.
Oh, of course. And then we looked it up, and it's like a thing. If you turn it upside down, like the carbon something,
but
it like
more
becomes like
that.
nitrogen.
I have that stuff.
It burned her leg.
Listen, I have that stuff that you spray your keyboard, it gets all the shit out of it.
Yeah.
It gets cold.
Right. Yeah.
It's not.
But if you hold it upside down, it gets extra cold, quicker or something.
So if you put that on you,
he sprayed it like right on her skin.
You will burn yourself.
Yeah.
100%.
She was like, you all are being such bitches here. And then
who's the stupid fuck now?
To this day, she still has that on her
girl with
leg.
a fucking anger. That's where high heels and shit.
Yep.
Yeah, dumb fuck. Yeah, she
wow,
proved her point.
I have a video of that. I have a video of that on my Facebook too, of us spraying her because we were like, we got to film this.
Can you pull it up?
Yeah, probably. So listen, somewhere in my Facebook.
So that spray, Bronny, I use it, and if you spray it too long, you'll see it starts to
like
create frost on the keyboard.
I'm not logged into my Facebook.
That shit's bad. I'm telling you right now, it's not mine.
No, well, this is your computer.
Well, I asked you if that's my computer or not,
and I said yes.
Oh,
I don't know what my Facebook.
I don't even know how to log into Facebook. You know that?
You entered an old password. Your password changed 5 months ago. Let's see. I never go on Facebook.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to tell you.
You entered an old password. Reset my password. Secure my account. Try logging in again. Let's see. Let me try it one more time.
I love when people do that to try to prove a point. For what purpose? And they end up harming themselves.
I think she was probably trying to like look cool because
she
we're in eighth
regrets
grade
it.
and it's all of course she does. No, I can't get into Facebook on there.
No big deal.
Wow, that was all that one night, 8th grade graduation party. It was fun. I'll play a quick snippet of the song for you, like just so you can be like, oh, I've maybe heard of that, or maybe you haven't. It was in Euro Trip.
Great movie.
But
Scuse.
But then we learned that the band Goldfinger was like neo-Nazis or something. So we were like, oh shit, we can't play this anymore because we were all a bunch of Jewish kids. I'm gonna look up if they were neo-Nazis or something. This is just an ad. Hold on.
Oh man, yeah, go to the middle of it so I can get an idea.
Yeah.
How do we get this little fly in here?
Here.
Oh yeah. I know it. Yeah.
Like a rock version.
Yeah, it's
That's all I'm
good.
gonna play.
Yeah,
It was a good
it.
song. They look like neo-Nazis, this band.
They really do.
Goldfinger Controversy, maybe. No. Everything's showing the movie Goldfinger. I don't know. I don't know if that was like another rumor that was going around. Those like
I like the 80s music.
innocent like kid stories are always so funny.
I think you had a good upbringing.
Yeah, we had a great. It's probably
Nice
like too
experience.
good.
Nice experience. Nice group of people.
Because we were a pocket of, like, I feel like a lot of America my age, when we were kids, like, was just starting to transition away from the childhood of the past to the childhood of the future, right? Like, we were like the first. Because I grew up.
Childhood past, childhood future.
The childhood of the past was running around with friends in the neighborhood always.
That's what we
in
had.
backyards, coming up with sports ideas, games, playing around, fucking around. Like, that was the child of the past, not being supervised, right? But like still being safe because you were in a neighborhood or something.
Yep. Correct. That was us.
The childhood of the present is you come home and it's like you maybe play video games inside for an hour, or you're on your phone, or you're FaceTiming your friend each in your own houses.
You had a better childhood. I think you had more
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I feel like I had a pretty good. I was like the last of the old way of having a childhood. Like, sure, we grew up. I was 13, 14 when everyone was starting to get their first phones. The iPhone came out when I would think I was 12 or 13. So it was like I didn't grow up with phones technically. It was like when I was a teenager. I got my Facebook when I was 13, and it was right when it was like new. It was like a big deal. I had to ask mom's permission to get a Facebook when I was 13.
I remember. You had more of an innocent, wholesome upbringing in that regard.
But I was like the last kind of year, because if I was 13 when Facebook and iPhone came out, then that means Burke was 6. That's a totally different. To grow up with Facebook, right? That means when you're entering middle school, you like have to have a Facebook. I was one of the first people to have a Facebook, and I was 14. So it's like very different.
So was mom.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? It's very different. So we still had, like, I was playing outside in backyards on trampolines, coming up with like army games,
Yeah, that's what we did.
where we would like sneak around and play manhunt in the backyard.
Right,
Like,
we called it SWAT.
yeah, like shit like that, where I think Burke
You get killed
didn't
today.
have that.
You get killed
Yeah,
today.
you would
doing
get
that.
shot
Yeah,
for sure.
Fucking retarded. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Seriously, we used to play SWAT with the themes from SWAT.
I remember, yeah.
We used to
I've
dress
never
up
watched that,
in
but
all black with fucking hats.
I used to do that at Dave Matthews' house, which not the Dave
band?
Matthews Band. I had a friend whose literally name was Dave Matthews, and he didn't go by David.
Nice family, by
He
the
went
way.
by Dave. Yeah, great family.
Really nice family.
Remember, I used to sleep over
Robin and...
what's his name? I don't know, but we don't need to give all the family names.
No, good people.
on
Good.
the podcast.
But you give the last
No,
names.
I know, but if we give the parent, then it's like we
Right.
triangulate them.
Okay, go ahead.
When I would sleep over at Dave's house, and we called it Nightcrawler, but it was like that. It was like manhunt, SWAT shit. But we would do it inside his house at night. So in my memory, it always felt very late at night. To me, it was probably like 3 a.m. In reality, it was probably like 11, right? Because they probably put us to bed at like 10.
Right.
I was young. I was probably 8 when I would sleep over his house. And so we would they would put us to bed, and then we would wait like an hour, or probably only 10 minutes, but it felt like an hour to us, until we thought his parents were asleep. And then all the lights in the house were off, and we would go into his closet and change our clothes into all black clothes.
I love it.
And we would sneak around his house. his dog was like who we were trying not to get caught by. So he would like jump up on the counter and move chairs and then his dad, every single time, his dad would come in and turn all the lights on and be like, what the fuck are you
That's
guys
what every
doing?
dad does.
Like,
but that's
we're trying to go to bed and you guys are rearranging furniture. You're not being sly. I can hear you.
Is that not a dad role? It was just
so funny.
Because can you see you did know?
Of course.
Because that happened to me all the time.
Yeah.
And I could picture me like, the fuck, guys, go to bed, right?
Of course. It was just so funny. Like, we thought we were being so quiet and sly. Meanwhile, we're probably like,
how
like moving shit
cool would
around.
it be? Thinking about it now, which you should probably do if you ever catch your kids doing that, you should get dressed up in black and be like a spy in
Right,
the
like
other
do
way.
it, play with them.
Or against them.
I know. Right, like, yeah.
Like
play
you're the
game.
enemy.
Playing the game.
How funny. Because
Yeah.
every father's like, I got work in the morning.
Right, exactly.
Hey.
You guys woke me up and now I have to fucking put all the chairs back.
Is that the dad voice?
It was so funny though, because it was so classic. But that's like a scene out of a movie. And kids, I feel like, don't have those scenes anymore.
had that growing up. Same exact thing.
But now it's like you would play Manhunt on your laptop.
Problem is that Pa would shoot you, not knowing. So you know, you got to be careful today.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a different world today.
It is true. Like if you hear, I don't know, even back then, I feel like if a dad heard like rummaging around in the middle of the night in their house.
But the alarm was on, didn't go off. You never know.
No, but back like when you were a kid, there weren't alarms, were there?
Yeah, of course we had alarms.
Really?
Yeah.
But I feel like back then in your house, if Pa heard rummaging around, he would have walked downstairs with a gun in his hand.
Yeah. yeah.
Parents nowadays don't do that.
It's but those are fun, innocent till somebody gets hurt, I guess.
Yeah. But luckily that never happened to me.
You're
and
right.
it was always a little scary because it was pitch black in his house.
Right.
And it was just me and him, so we would like sneak off.
We had the
sometimes.
mirror
It was a
that
little
would go
scary.
around the end. It was like a tube, and you could look around the end with a mirror.
A mirror that goes around.
It was like a rectangular thing, and on the end had a mirror, like two mirrors, so you can see around the
like
end.
on a counter.
You can see no.
Oh, it was a mirror hanging up on the wall.
No, you can a handheld thing for like spying.
Oh, yeah, I know
So
exactly
you
what
can
you're talking about.
just look around the corner without
Yes.
like only 2 inches comes out.
Yeah.
Out.
So you had spy gear.
Yeah, we were the shit. I had infrared. No, I had.
I used to have a little. It was a toy.
We had handcuffs.
It was like a spy. There was a line of toys that were like spy
tasers.
toys.
No good.
And there was one that like it was a listening device. And I remember I used to put it on Charlie, like the receiver or the transmitter, and like he'd send him downstairs, and I would be upstairs and listen to it, and it barely worked.
Did you?
It was like so staticky. But yeah, I mean, obviously you could tell too. It was like an antenna with a mic in it, and it would be on Charlie's collar.
I'm like, no, what's that growth on Charlie? I never saw that.
Kids listening spy device. I bet I could find it.
I used to love.
It looked. It was this. This is exactly what it was. And so you would put. Oh no, that's not what it is. It looked like that though. But it was one of these.
I love my Sherlock Holmes kit.
What's that?
It was a kit when you were like a kid. You can buy it, and it had dusting for fingerprinting, had a pad.
Yeah, that's fun.
And I used to go around and do investigations.
Yeah, but that's like
I used to draw comic books too. I used to draw comic books.
I used to do that.
I like doing that.
I remember. This is hilarious. I drew Marvel characters, like I made up my own with their own superheroes and stuff. And instead of calling it Marvel, I called it Bloomel because I put my name in there. And Marvel's not a name; it's
Marvin.
a word.
It's Marvin.
It's a word, but I thought it was a name. So
I
did.
My comic books I did. They were like always various different types of man-eating fish, like piranha with big teeth. I don't know. Okay. I like to
like you didn't make them up. You like.
I drew
fish.
those.
Yeah, like piranha.
But I drew them. I made them all different looking, like alien-like, and that was my...
I wish you still had those.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
That would have been great, but I never saved those.
Yeah.
Huh. Fun stuff
being
a kid.
I'm trying to think
those were innocent things. I wonder what the other boys would say. Like, Bryce, I don't know what he would say.
Bryce definitely did. Bryce probably has the best childhood memories out of all of us.
Why is that?
Because he like was the most social. He had like a huge group of friends that was like always hanging out constantly. You know, like he had like 10 friends that every single day they hung out. So that's like, you make good memories that way, you know? I had like
But
2.
I wonder what some of the things he did.
Yeah.
Some things I probably don't even want to know.
Definitely. Yeah. With Bryce... Yeah, there was honestly, it's lame of me, but there was nothing that I did that was bad.
Not lame, you're just a good kid.
I never. Sure. I mean, Bryce is a good kid though.
Bryce is a great kid.
Yeah, but like being a kid, when you're a kid, you can.
I did some stupid things, but I was a really good kid.
I never did stupid things. Like even like alcohol.
Ring and run. I never did alcohol. I never did alcohol or drugs. No, I never did that. But I did like ring and run.
Yeah, that's innocent. That's not being a bad kid.
I'm saying, I tell you, we took off the mailbox and put it on the street pole. Did I tell you that?
No.
We took off our neighbor's mailbox and hung it on the street pole.
What do you mean, like the lamp, the street lamp?
No, like a street sign.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why we did that. It's just stupid.
Yeah,
Just
punks
like that.
Being a punk.
Yeah, but
I couldn't do any. Even the one time that I broke something in the house, my lie lasted 7 minutes.
Which one was that?
The mailbox.
Oh, that lasted like 2 minutes.
I pulled
but that's a good quality.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying like I just never did anything bad because like I was incapable of it, I guess. I don't know if I've told this story or not, but I pulled out of the house when I was in high school.
I think you told a story, but
I think I must have been in 10th grade, 9th grade.
No, I think you were older than that because you were driving.
Right, but you started driving in 10th grade.
You had the Jeep.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, but I was going to Hebrew school because I was leaving Tuesday night. That's why. I was going to Hebrew school Tuesday night, and I didn't do that starting junior year, so it must have been 10th grade because I was driving and in Hebrew school. Okay. And I left the house, and it was when I left, or I guess maybe when I was coming back or whatever, and I drove in, it was nighttime, it was dark, and I hit the mailbox with my car, and my car was fine.
Which happens.
But the mailbox fell down, and I knocked it over, and then...
And you know, what I was fine, wasn't I? I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, but you're jumping the gun.
Sorry.
And then I remember I went upstairs, and I was like, maybe... I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, maybe no one will notice. But it was on the ground.
And the next morning, I think.
No, it was that night. I was in my bed doing my homework, and I remember you came in. You're like, "Hey, Bronny, do you know what happened with the mailbox? It's down. Like it's so weird. Like someone must have hit it." And I was like, no, I don't know." And then you're like, "Oh, weird. I don't know." And then you left. And then I remember 2 minutes later, I got out of my bed. I walked in. You were in your closet. I walked into your closet. I was like, "It was me. I hit the mailbox."
I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I didn't care. I mean, I don't care about accidents. Those things don't bother me.
No, and yeah, I also, what was I thinking I would get away with it? That was so stupid. But I guess I could have.
I guess it's nerves. It's not, look, it is what it is. Yeah. Too funny. Childhood, it goes by so fast and such, I had a good childhood. I got to tell you, I really had a nice upbringing. I got very, grew up in a nice development, nice group of friends. We were always outside after school, even getting home from sports. We always did stuff, in the cul-de-sac. It was a nice upbringing.
Right, like we had the cul-de-sac every day after school. All the neighborhood kids would run around, pretty much unsupervised, which I feel like that's low key the key. I feel like
that community where we lived, I think, was nice to raise the kids.
Yeah,
when you guys were young, and then moving to our other place in Boniello was when you guys were old, was much better.
Yeah, but they say that. I mean, there are like a lot of studies, and there's a whole new movement now about like unsupervising your kid when they're young and letting them do things for themselves. And there's this whole movement, a lot of people in it think that that's why, like, your whole generation is way more independent and resilient and all this stuff than my generation. And we're all way more than the younger generation, and Burke and younger, right? Like Burke and younger, their generation, they can't figure anything out on their own.
True, but you got to admit, though,
or if they do, they're riddled with anxiety while they're doing it.
But concerning, like, Burke's gone for 5 months in a foreign country and traveling every weekend, I think he's doing really well.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Burke.
I know, I'm just saying, like,
I'm talking in general.
Yes, in general, I think that it's because the parents coddle too much and too much supervision. I agree.
Yeah, it's because they say like a kid should learn to make mistakes themselves.
But it's a little scary though in today's day and age.
Not there's less kid. But there's less crime than there was when you were a kid. There's less kidnappings.
And if you have a daughter, I would worry about a daughter. Oh my God, I would worry. Like I got to tell you, the biggest fear for Mom and I was always worried about you kids being kidnapped or abducted when your kid's little.
Yeah.
No, that's a huge fucking fear. So to me, when you got out of that stage, we're like, what a fucking relief. Then college was a huge thing. Like, oh my God, between the partying.
Yeah, that's scary. Because people literally die.
Listen, the drinking, the drugs, the fraternity. So a girl can accuse you of raping her. Like, as a parent, you're like, oh my God, you're stressed out. So now, like, going to senior year, we don't worry. It's very different. Do you know what I'm saying?
But like now, me, Bryson, we're like, what is there?
Right.
There's no fear.
No. There's no fear. The only thing that you two guys I worry about is just when you drive on the highway. I just worry about when you drive. That's all I care.
But that will always be
correct as a parent. Yeah. Right. That's why I always say text when you get home. And 90% of the time you forget and I call you.
But that's not a stage thing. That's like that's every day for the rest of our lives.
One more year of Burke, but Burke now senior year, mature. I don't worry about that because he's living on his own in his condo with his friends. Like I don't worry. But the prior years, you fucking worry and stress. That's a scary thing. And then worry where you are on the weekends with the kids and this one line about that one. Those days being behind me, and being behind mom and me and mom, huge.
But
what
do
a
you
relief.
think that like your worry is also part of the problem? Like I bet your parents didn't worry as much.
No, my mom, every time we went out, if we got home 3 a.m, she would wait up until we got home. And the rule was when my mom was good like this, we really had no curfew. We never had a curfew. My mom trusted us. So she always said, what time will you be home? So we said 2. She expects us at 2. If we were not going to be home at 2, we had to call and say...
You didn't have cell phones where you could just text.
No, but we had a payphone. We called payphone. So what we did was we always used a payphone. But we 100% had to let her know. So if we were running late, just so she trusted us...
Right.
And that was what we did. So it was
because
no problem.
if you didn't tell her, then it's like something's wrong.
Where are they? And I can't reach you.
Right.
So we never had a curfew. So my mom always waited up to check.
But you would think there would be more worry back then than there is now because one, crime was much higher. The world was more dangerous, even though it seems like it is more.
What can you do?
But back then, there was less that you could do. So there's more worry. Now you can track a phone. Constant texting, FaceTime. Back then, if Burke went up to Europe for 5 months, you wouldn't be able to talk to him for 5 months.
I get it. Well, we did, but
now you can literally speak to him face to face every single night.
But you worried, but you
worry more.
It.
You guys worry as a generation. You guys as parents worry way more than your generation of parents did when there's way less to worry about.
I don't know if I worry way more than my mom or dad did.
I'm not talking about your parents specifically. I'm talking about generation.
I think that there's, I don't know if it's worry more, but because you couldn't do anything about it, so you had to accept it, and you just worried and you prayed.
That seems like you would worry more. That's more anxiety inducing.
Now the mothers or the fathers that could track you, they're like, it's that helicopter controlling.
Right, exactly.
Doesn't mean you worry more. They just can control more.
Out of worry.
But
helicopter parenting is out of worry for the child, right?
What I'm saying is, it's the same worrying. I want to make sure my kid is safe, but I can't do anything if I can't reach them.
No, yeah.
It's just but if I know my son has a cell phone.
You don't think parents are more worried now?
If you have a cell phone and you can't reach your kid, then you worry. Yeah. Back then, you know that they would say they'll be home at 2. You got to wait till 2, and hopefully they got home safe.
But like the fact that even would happen, parents now won't even let kids do many things that they would let back. Them as kids, the parents themselves as kids did.
Sort of. I think sort of. Probably, if I were to guess why, because we know so many things now with social media and so many things out there, and you see so many bad things happen. It's in your face all the time. It puts you in a heightened sense of alertness.
But it's a false sense of alertness.
Well, whether it is or it isn't, the fact that you know, it's like if you have a cough, you start Googling what a cough is, and you see all this shit like, oh my God, I can have cancer of the throat.
But that's wrong of you to do, right? Okay. That's when someone does that, we say, oh my God, why would you do that?
No matter what, I think parents worry. If you love your child, you're going to fucking worry at all ends. The difference is you have a lot more in your fingertips. So if you call your kid and you can't reach them, you start to stress more. Where 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you couldn't call your kids, so you just have to wait till they get home at 2 and say, thank God they got home safe. Yeah. But my parents worried the same. I worry the same, but
the stereotype of parents back in the day, like when you watch movies like from the 80s or whatever, right? The stereotype is like that they just don't even, the kids are just out and about and the parents are like, okay.
Well, so I think I said this before on one of the pods, but like at 10 o'clock, there would always be a break. You know how they do like, this is a test.
Right.
Well, you know what the stations did?
Yeah,
they
where's
said,
your children?
Do you know where your children are? It's 10 p.m. I mean, that's a whole different mentality. So it was, today, it's good and bad of having the accessibility to be able to reach a kid, FaceTime, track them, know where they are. So they don't have to, so that's changed. But the parents were a little more.
Do you think that's better or worse? The fact that parents are tracking their kids.
I don't track my kids now, but when you guys were little, I had no problem tracking.
Why?
It just gave me a comfort level that we knew you guys were safe.
But it didn't. But just like you said, like it didn't. There was nothing else you could do to change it. Right? Like if I was out, I was out. Even if you tracking me, like
track.
If I was doing something dangerous, I was still out doing something dangerous. You just knew where I was.
It was more about an accident or kidnapping. It wasn't about you kids. I trusted my kids.
Yeah, but like it's a false sense of security, don't you think?
Everybody, this episode is brought to you by, guess what? Manscaped. We are loyal to Manscaped, are we not, Bronson?
I use it every day. All their products.
We love it.
I live in a Manscaped sponsored bathroom. Honestly, my whole bathroom looks like a Manscaped ad.
It's actually Bronson's life would be very different. He would look like one big hairball if he
for real. Cousin It. I would be cousin It sitting here.
From his ankles up to his head, it would all be one. There would be no break. But I want to tell you, many of our listeners have purchased the Manscaped products. I'm going to let Bronson tell you about it, how to get the code to get us a discount.
Daddy Issues 20.
But I have to tell you, they've been a loyal sponsor, and the reason they've been a loyal sponsor is because we have so many people that purchase from them, and we love
repurchase.
Right, we love and personally use all their products. They're the best products from everything that you can think of. It's well made. There's no nicking, no scratching.
Everything that you can think of in the grooming and bathroom space. They don't sell like cars,
Right.
But
it's phenomenal, guys, and the way they build it is phenomenal. The way they manufacture is phenomenal. It's a great product. We use it. We love it. We clean our ears. We clean our nose. Bronson trims his beard. We manscape down south, and never a nick. The technology is phenomenal. Ronnie, if they haven't ordered it, they should listen to a different pod, don't you think?
You can stay with us.
But my point is, you will thank us.
And if they're constantly improving their stuff too. So that, they've come out with the Lawnmower 4.0, which is the 4th generation. So if you have the 3.0 or the 2.0 or even the original,
big difference.
A lot of differences. Their Weed Whacker 2.0, which is the ear and nose hair, is even more improved. So they're always improving. So if you're like, oh, I have old Manscaped products, I'm fine. No, you don't even know. The old shit is like shit compared to the new shit,
It's worth every penny, guys. So take care of your body.
Head over to manscaped.com, use the code DaddyIssues20, and you'll get 20% off your order and free shipping. Once again, it's manscaped.com. All the products are there. Use the code at checkout, DaddyIssues20, DaddyIssues20, and you'll get 20% off and free shipping.
A lot of things are false.
Because if I was kidnapped, you think they would take my phone with me?
We should really take one of those. What do they call them? Those Apple...
An AirTag and put it on my butt or something?
Yeah.
But like that, maybe in the day you thought it was good, but in hindsight, it was a bit of a false sense of security. Because also, kids are not dumb. You don't think a kid can leave a phone and, I'm going to Sarah's house. Leave it at Sarah's house, and then we go to Jimmy's house. And you see, Bronson.
Yeah, we always caught you guys in your lies, though. But I hear you.
I don't know if you did.
Okay.
You just know the ones that you caught us, right? Obviously.
Okay, nice to know.
No, but that's what kids should be doing. But that's what I'm saying. It's like you have more information, so it's making you all more worried, but it's actually the same situation at the end of the day, but now you guys are just still more worried.
Look,
that worry transfers to the children. That's why they all have.
I think there's a lot more.
That's why they're all on Adderall.
There's a lot more people in this world. I think there's a lot more crazies, a lot more cars on the road. You said driving up here, 4 accidents alone. You saw that just happened.
A lot.
I think
if there are a lot more cars on the road, there might be. I actually don't know what the statistic is.
Probably a lot.
But if there are a lot more cars on the road, all the cars are 7,000 times safer than they were back then.
No. Okay, but
all the drivers are much better than they were back then.
No. But listen, there's more cars on the road because there's 7-lane highways opposed to 2-lane highways. So the demographics require more lanes and things like that.
That was New York. New York still has the 2-lane highways.
Florida, but the traffic's... When I grew up, the traffic was not nearly like it is today on the road. That's a given.
You grew up in suburbs of New York.
But even in New York, when I used to take... with the West Side Highway, I used to go into the city. We take the LIE. The traffic is...
It might be. I just
not.
Don't
it might
know.
be 1,000% traffic everywhere is much greater.
Okay.
Greater chance of accidents. Cars are faster. They might be safer, but on the same token, just hear me out, that you can go 90 miles an hour and it feels like you're going 40. When you were going in our cars, we had going 50, felt like it was 90.
That's a good point. Yep.
Okay? The cars, so I'm just saying, as a parent, because good or bad, we know more and we worry. Now, it's just the way it is. You're going to worry about your kids. And when we went to college or even growing up in high school, the parties were not like they were now. You know what I'm saying? Even in college, it's so different. And, you got to worry about, what's that one, that the drug that came over from China? What's it called?
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl. it's just that you have to worry. And then you hear about girls, like no one, it was unheard of. Like you hook up with a girl, you hooked up with a girl. There was no one like, he raped me.
No, but so maybe for a little of them, but I have to push back on that. Maybe it was the same amount of girls being raped and the girls just didn't say anything because that wasn't what was done.
Maybe.
That's problem. But you think people are getting rapier?
No.
I bet it's the same amount of rape, but girls now are emboldened to say, hey, he fucking raped me.
The girls are much more promiscuous today than when I was growing up.
Okay, that has nothing to do with rape.
I'm not talking about rape.
But
there's a lot.
Why did you bring that up?
No, because I'm saying rape. You can get a girl pregnant much more easier. Like it was.
Why can you get a girl pregnant easier? Girls are all on the pill now from a young age. They weren't when you were a kid.
The girls today, people having sex at a younger age. You just worry differently. Okay, all right. I'm just telling you as a parent, you definitely, I think, worry more than when I was a kid. Things were a little more wholesome. It was easier. There wasn't so many things at your fingertips, not so many things to get in trouble with.
Totally.
So therefore,
I think,
and ignorance is a bliss. So what you didn't know, you're better off now. You know everything. You see it.
That's a problem.
You see the way the girls just go on these social media. See the way these girls dress at this young age. It's just everything's sex driven. You worry about there's so many different separations and fighting on issues. It's just. We lived in a little like microcosm, a little bubble where, like, let's say when you went to school, and that's what we did, and it was a routine. Today it's different, and you worry about them, and you worry about your kids going to college. Like, I'm so glad I'm past that fucking stage as a parent. It's huge. Then it's got to worry about my grandchildren, but it's a different.
You also worry about your kid now. A worry is like about your kid coming home and being like, "I'm trans," and like, what do you do about that?
Well, I'm never worried about that, but it's a.
Well, you're past that, but that's a worry of parents, like of parents of kids in middle school now.
Yeah,
that's like a worry because if you say no, I mean, Florida's different, but like if you're a parent in California and your kid comes home from school, maybe not all of California, let's say like Los Angeles, San Francisco, your kid comes home from school and they're like 7 years old and they're like, I'm a girl, and they tell their teachers at school, yeah, I want to be a girl, and they're your son. You're kind of fucked because the school is going to reaffirm that kid constantly. That's in the school's curriculum.
Gross.
To be like, yes, you are a girl. Yes, you are a girl.
So then
what are you going to do? So now it's the kid, all their friends, and the school against you.
Well,
of course the kid's going to go against their parent.
Well, I'm the fucking I'm a fucking parent.
Yeah, but that's a worry. That's like a scary. And then so you now say, no, I'm pulling my kid out of school, blah, 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 and then you get ostracized by the community. You're a transphobe.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
I don't
blah.
care about being ostracized. But I hear you saying.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying that's a worry for parents now. Obviously not you because you're past it and it's not you anyway. It's not your situation. Talking about in general. That's a new modern worry. And that's happening a lot. I think it's going to...
If I had a daughter...
I think we're on the way out of it.
Yeah, if I had a daughter now growing up, I would be very concerned about so many aspects for that, raising a daughter. Sexually, social media.
Social media is the worst one. Oh my God.
Yeah, terrible.
If I had a daughter, drugs, I really think I would.
No phone.
And I think this is helicopter parenting in a sense, I guess, but I would be like, you can't be on social media. You just can't.
It's so bad.
You just can't do it. It's like how you tell a kid in middle school, you tell them, like, it's just an obvious thing. You can't do heroin. It's obvious to a parent, to their kid. You can't do drugs. It's obvious. Social media is in that list to me. It's as bad, maybe even worse to teenagers than drugs are.
It's bad.
Because it's like acceptable.
No, it's so bad.
And they're all doing it.
Pot's acceptable now, which is a problem.
Social media is way worse than marijuana.
I'm just saying all these things are bad. They're all bad.
And in literal deaths and stuff. Like social media related deaths are definitely more than weed related deaths. I have no statistics back that up, but like no one dies from marijuana. People die from social media pressure by committing suicide all the time.
There's bigger issues though if your kid is committing suicide due to social media. Parents need to be a little more aware of certain things and create some more confidence on whatever it is and strengthen the deficiencies that child might have. You have to be aware because to me it just does. I don't walk in the shoes, so there's no judgment, but I literally cannot comprehend. I cannot comprehend at all that how words could affect, and I know it does, obviously, and I know I'm a minority on it, but it's shocking that
they're kids, Dad.
I know, I'm saying it's sad, but
of course, everything affects them. They're kids.
Okay, But I'm
especially
saying
teenagers.
But it's a shame.
Most sensitive people in the world.
It's a shame that it's so sad. It's such a shame. It's so sad.
And it's not even words. It's like it's.
I know.
It's the lack of words too. Usually
bullying, and it's so sad. The whole thing. It's so sad.
But you say like, oh, you as a parent, you gotta know.
No, I'm not saying that.
It's
no,
like
because
I know.
Multiple
people that have committed
taking
suicide.
It back. I'm taking it back.
And it's never. They're always the last person that I would
I'm taking it back because
it.
I'm just saying it because I don't know what goes on and each one's a fact specific scenario, but it's just so sad, the whole thing for everybody involved. It's a terrible thing, and you don't know.
But it's social media.
Listen, you don't
it's
know
like
that,
fully
right?
just
You
social
think
media.
you might know your kid, and your kid might be acting one way in front of you in a different way, and so it's
definitely.
The thing is terrible.
I know plenty of my friends were one way with their parents, and their parents thought of them as a very specific type of person, and they were totally a different way when their parents were not around.
So why is that? What do you think the reason is? It's them or the parents? What do you think it is?
Parents.
In what regard?
When you can't, all the people that come to mind, it's when they didn't feel comfortable enough to be. It's two things, I guess, because the people that I'm thinking of, their parents put every single person that I'm thinking of that this applies to, their parents put a lot of pressure on them. So it was like pressure to be a good person, pressure to get good grades, pressure to get into a good college, all this stuff. So it was like that was the person that.
So I have a question about that.
I can name the people.
Well, I have a
you
question.
would be like,
okay.
whoa.
Was it really the parents putting pressure? Let me just before you answer. Or was it how the kid perceived it? Or was it a little bit of both? Like
I'll tell you the people and you'll be like, oh, it's the parents.
Okay, so
I'm muting. You know those parents.
Those are hard parents.
Right, exactly. Those parents were like, this is to the person you're going to be. This is the life you're going to live. And so the kid to the parent, I guess through trial and error, they learned that it was easier to like live two lives. Like to the parent, they were who the parent wants them to be. But then it drove them, like those two specifically, and I can name even more who are in that realm, were the biggest partiers, the biggest drug experimenters, the biggest like doing crazy shit. Because, and that doesn't make them bad kids. They were still good kids. Like they got the good grades that their parents wanted them to. They went to the good schools that their parents wanted them to do. But they had this other side, a rebellious side that their parents pushed them to. It was all the parents because the parents had drilled into them, you know. And it's like a kid needs to have fun. So if the parent is like a Nazi, right? Then the kid.
Well, the second one you mentioned, the parents were fucking delusional.
Yeah,
nice people, but delusional. Seriously.
Yeah, and that's going to drive a kid to be like, all right, fine, I'll get the grade. But it's, you know how like work hard, play hard, but like, and the guys who work really, really hard, play really, really hard, right? It's like that. It's like, if these kids were having to put up with so much pressure, then they were going to have a bigger release of the pressure. And so instead of like normal kids in high school that would like smoke a joint at a party, they would like drop acid, right? So it's like, that was the difference.
So
and
what
it was the
made
parents.
So you and your brothers, what made you feel that you didn't? Because I think you were felt you could be who you are, you kids.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a conversation for both of us. It just felt, I don't know. Let me think. Like you just knew that you could say things, I guess. You know, like I could tell you if I got a bad grade and it like wasn't the end of the world. Where like I had friends that were like afraid to tell their, like they would hide it. Or when their parent would find out, they would like, it was a problem. Like it wasn't just like where you would say like, did you try your hard? Like, and you knew also, like you could see
when you worked hard and did it.
Right, exactly. Like you saw us every day. So you knew if we were fucking around or you knew if we were being good students.
Right.
So if you knew, like I always struggled in math classes, right? I just did. But it wasn't like I was a bad student. I was always a great student. And you knew that. So when I got C's in math, you weren't like, I can't believe this, Bronson. What are you doing? You were just like, I know you're trying. This just isn't your thing. So just as long as you're getting through it. So I didn't feel like it was the end of the world when, you know, bad things would happen. But for certain kids, it's the end of the world. It's like, it's unacceptable. And that's so problematic to a kid.
Over meaningless stuff.
Meaningless.
Has no value.
Right. The difference between like an A- and a B+, it's like the kid's going to go to college anyway.
An A or B means nothing.
Or even the difference between Harvard and FAU here. It's like It's still going to go to college. It's still going to do well and get a job.
It has no meaning.
Right.
I agree.
If you believe in your kid, then they don't need to go to Harvard to succeed.
Right. And I think as a parent, you just need to, okay. I think it's very important as a parent, you want your kids to be the best possible version of themselves. Means all areas, means well-rounded. And as a kid, I think for a kid telling their parent, I just do the best you can, as long as you can look at them and say, don't do things half-assed. And you got to be honest with your parents. Whether they like it or not, you got to be honest with your parents. I think if kids approach, again, it's easier said than done because, I mean,
but the parents have to be honest with the kids, too. I think that was a helpful thing with you.
The problem is, like, these parents, these fucking parents, they put the kids in tennis tutoring, this tutoring, 50 fucking tutoring things for all different things. And the kids end up going to the same fucking school, let's say Brooke does or you or Bryce. Like, it doesn't.
And drops out of all those things. They only, right? Like a kid, once they're in college, they're not doing extracurriculars. No kid in college. No. In college, you have your major and you have your friends. You're not in like, and maybe like a club or two, but you're not like doing a sport, an instrument, a this, and that.
Of course not.
You're just not doing it.
The parents do these things. It is weird. It's a lot of fun, and they don't do that in meanness. They do that in love. But they fuck up their kids. They fuck up their kids.
Yeah,
you know, you got to let the kids be who they want. But to me,
but that's what it is. A lot of parents don't want their kid to be whatever the kid wants. They want the kid to be what they want.
But the parents do listen. Sometimes kids are young, immature, and stupid, and they don't know really what they want. And sometimes you got to push your kids to excel. And so I get it. Like, for example, you know, I think you would have had a very different experience if you went to a public school as opposed to Pinecrest. I think there's things that pushed you, helped you get in different paths that help all our boys excel.
I think I would have. I don't think Bryce would have. I think Bryce would have been similar because I think he's more...
Not Burke.
Like less studious, more just like a regular kid.
He would not be where he is but for Pinecrest.
Why?
Getting to USC Business School, I don't think he would have done it.
Why? What specifically at Pinecrest?
I think the curriculum, the structure, I don't think Burke would do his homework the same way. I think you're much more sit down, dedicated. Burke's now more mature, different today. But then, I don't know if he would do his homework. I think he would just do the bare minimum.
Why does Pinecrest teach you? How does Pinecrest teach you how to do your homework?
I think Pinecrest requires certain things that are because you're so busy in time management.
Pinecrest is a school we went
where
to.
I think you might get a little bit lost in public school where you don't have the people watching over you and guiding you as much.
Yeah,
and that's
a good one. Yeah.
So that allows you to be the more time managed, the better time manager you have, the more efficient you become.
They don't let people slip through the cracks,
and they're on you.
Yeah,
and I think that's a value.
They are.
And I also think the kind of friends you guys have. All
that's the biggest one.
is also valuable because, you know, you could, you know, like Bryce could get involved, you know, he's a frat boy back, you know, it's different now.
Yeah.
But back then he could have been like
Bryce could have fallen into a bad crowd.
The football, well, I don't think I would allow that, but my point is I think we'd be on him. But he's just a simple, easygoing, everybody loves Bryce, a guy gets along with everybody, and he can get along with everybody. Like he can like everybody.
Yes, yeah.
And I think where Burke...
He's pleasable.
I think where Burke and you rather like people similar to you guys.
Yeah. Burke's, I would say, was a bit of a detriment. Like I think Burke's social circle has like kind of set him up for a little false failure in his life. That's like already kind of permanent in his head. Like he has just extremely high expectations because all his friends were like, very high lifestyle. So he grew up expecting that because it was all his friends.
But can't that in the same be a positive thing if it helps motivate him into what he wants and be a fighter under his ass?
Yeah, but that seems like wrong reasons to me, but to each their own.
I don't know. I mean, my father, I'm not judging you know, me want to get away from my parents and prove myself and
well, that's good reason. That's because you wanted to make something of yourself on your own. That's not wanting to make something of yourself to keep up with the Joneses.
I don't think Burke wants to keep up with Jones. I really don't. I think Burke just likes the finer things in life because he was born in a time when we had more money. So he rode the coattails of our lifestyle.
Right.
His friends, family all were a lot wealthier than us. I mean, made us
and so poor. You don't think that altered how he thinks of the world?
Okay, but...
If he's the low man on the totem pole...
But when you hear him talk...
I was the equal man on the totem pole. All my friends and I were the exact same situation...
Right. Because you were all our first kids, and no one had money.
Burke was the low man on the totem pole, so economically with his friends, not even really when it comes down to dollars and cents, but like all his friends, the parents spoiled the kids with things. They all had they all had designer clothes and shoes and stuff when Burke didn't. So then he would be like to you, Dad, I want those.
Okay.
So then when you want the highest, right? If you're wanting Ferragamo, which is the highest level of designer, right? When you're wanting that at 12, how much further up can you go?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but on the same token, I've seen Burke in the past 2-3 years, and that's not defend his position because you're not saying anything negative, but I know you're not. But I've seen Burke in the past 2-3 years, the maturity level beyond belief.
Yeah, and it's not an immaturity.
I don't know.
Hear me out. Want finer things.
Just hear me out. I
think it's just who he is.
I see his compassion. I see how he gets it and talks about people who have these affluence where he sees the way they behave and understands that.
But see, that's the wiring unwiring itself, I think.
No, I don't think so.
I think he was enamored and glamored by high lifestyles, and now that he's touched it and tasted a little, I think he's become disillusioned by it. No,
I think he's too young to become this. No,
but I think he sees a lot of wealthy people. They're kind of all fucked up.
No, listen. First of all, he's a little too young to be disillusioned. I think that
maybe that's the wrong word.
Well, I think that when he
Sorry, go on.
Okay. When you're 15 and you go on a private plane, like, oh my God. When you're a little older, you're on a private plane, like, all right, it's not a big deal. It's just a plane. It's fun. It's nice luxury, but it's not as exciting. So I think there's a maturity level that goes with it, okay? And I think that also go ahead.
I also think that 99% of America has never been on a private plane, so that even if they're 60 and it's their first time on a private plane, they're extremely excited and it's very cool. For Burke to be 21 and to already be like, private plane's a private plane, that's what I'm saying.
No, because I'm not saying it's like, it's private. Meaning he understands it, he appreciates it. I think there's a value. For example, if I buy something that's very expensive, I buy it, I enjoy it, but I still value and respect it. I think it's all about how your perceptions. And I think Burke, likes to find things in life. There's nothing wrong with that. He's driven, he likes to make money. But I don't think it upsets him. I think he has humility to him. And I think that he will live within his means, because I see he doesn't want to spend his own money on things. I see he's very frugal and not want to piss away the money. And being out there and seeing, I think when he sees these kids that are overindulged and friends he hangs out with that are spoiled and entitled, he realizes it's wrong. So I think he gets it, and that comes with maturity.
Yeah. But it's interesting that, and I agree, and I'm not saying anything bad about Burke at all through any of this. I'm just saying it's interesting how who you hang out with shapes your life. Because to this day, still, all of Burke's friends are extremely wealthy. None of my friends are, all of my friends are actually equal in my level. Literally, like all my friends and I are, not only are we at the same level in our own careers, but all our families are at relatively the same socioeconomic.
Right. I'm with you.
All of Burke's friends are higher socioeconomic levels than he is.
Correct.
So that's been a decade of constant having his friends being wealthy.
But he aspires to that.
It's just interesting how... No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Not at all. There's no judgment in what I'm saying. It's just interesting how who you hang out with at a young age, by whatever circumstances it is. Because I think maybe that was just Burke's grade was overindulged.
But you look at college though. His grade was 100 beyond fucking.
But I think that is all. Like I bet Burke would be a different person. He would have different aspirations and all that stuff if he didn't have those friends when he was young.
Look at his friends in college. They're all different.
Mega wealthy.
No, I disagree with you.
Oh, Dad.
Some are, but his closest friends are not. They're like similarly situated to us.
Just like the three that he lives with aren't, but the rest of the kids in his frat are
but that's because of USC. But his closest friends.
But he chose that school. He chose that frat. You don't just find yourself in situations. You have similar.
But his closest friends are similarly situated to him in his lifestyle.
Yeah. The three that he lives with.
Right. So you can have 100 friends. But the rest
of the frat are all.
I get it, but you have a lot of my friends are a lot wealthier than I am.
Yeah.
They're wealthy people, but doesn't.
But that's you at 55 having 56 getting to that point. That wasn't the case for the majority of your life, right?
Did that just go off?
Yeah, but it's just because I haven't touched it.
Okay.
That wasn't the case for the majority of your life. Where it has been the case for the majority of Burke's life, And it is what it is. But it objectively has shaped me as a person.
My family was the wealthier one out of all the
exactly.
friends.
That's what I'm saying. You grew up and everyone around you was a lower element than you were. Burke grew up, everyone was higher. So that just shapes differences in how you think about the world. What you want out of the world. I grew up where everyone was equal to me. So there was never any like one-upping friends. There was just never any thought of that. There was never keeping up with anyone. Like if one friend wanted to go on a trip, it was a trip that was reasonable enough for everyone, right? It wasn't like something where people would be like, what the hell? I can't afford that. I can't do that. It was something that it was in everyone's wheelhouse. Burke's friends are like, oh, let's take a private plane to Mallorca. And it's like, Burke can't keep up with that. It's just different.
And he won't do it then.
No, I know. But that shapes how you think. If you're constantly like, I can't go on the trip that my friend group is going on, you think differently than if you're thinking, I can always go on the trips with my friends.
Okay, yes, but it also
not worse or better. It might be even better.
I understand, but
it might make him have more money, make more money.
Having that taste where you want something gives you that fire to want it if you want it. So I think help create drive.
Yeah, it definitely could. I'm not saying anything bad at all.
I don't think you are.
We got on this because we were saying public school and private school and how hanging with different people alters you differently.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to have the subjects, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So we're done already?
Yeah.
We got to do a follow advice?
What do you mean we're done already?
It went by so fast.
Yeah.
And I felt like we talked about it. We didn't get to anything.
No, we didn't get to anything.
Oh, my God. Well, it'll be interesting to see how all three kids, if you guys turn out with your, I think as long as you have good values and compassion and humility and appreciation of things and respect, I think whatever it is you achieve or you work for and you obtain, I think you'll live a nice, healthy life. But I do feel bad running for those kids that can't tell their parents anything.
I feel like that's most
sad.
Kids.
How sad is that? And how fortunate are we? Seriously.
Yeah, but that was because you guys fostered that.
But isn't that sad though?
I
think it's sad.
Yeah, of course. And that's why all these kids now are either on medication for their anxiety or they're shooting up schools. It's like that's what the state of kids are. Or they're living on, or they just live, and that's a hyperbole, like I'm doing that to be dramatic. But then the reality is most kids are just living online then. Because, if you can't go to your parents with things, then you just go to the internet with your things.
Terrible.
And that's what it is. But that's why a lot of kids have depression
and
anxiety.
Break my heart. I hope all you boys know you come to Mom and I for anything.
Yeah. I mean, this podcast is evidence of that.
I know, but I hope the other boys feel the same way. Break my heart.
Let's see. This
sad,
is
very sad.
I'm trying to see because I didn't go through and delete the last couple that we've read. So that's a long one.
Well, from now we got to pick it in the beginning so we don't spend time doing this.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, we're also like almost out, so people have to write in because I've got like 2 left maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
because we go through them.
Okay, we got to market it more.
Yeah, I mean, it's just people, or we've solved everyone's problems.
Could be. I highly doubt it.
There might just not be any problems that are going on. Is this? I'm just trying to read them.
Make sure we didn't do it.
I can't remember. The problem is they're all so similar.
I know everyone has similar problems.
They're all so
22,
similar.
my boyfriend, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah, that like I don't know if.
Who's it from?
This is from Hannah. This one's a little old. It says, "Hi, Jon and Bron. I've been a listener for a while now and figured it was time to reach out. So here it goes. My boyfriend's 34 and I'm 29. We've been together for just over 2 years. I moved to Kentucky 6 years ago and he was born and raised here. When we met, we had an amazing connection instantly and it didn't take long before we were living together. About 6 months and I was fully in, I would say. I have always been open and honest about where I see my life going and the things I want. So has he. Slight backstory, after I moved to Kentucky to start my career after college, I didn't really date seriously. I just did my own thing, figured out who I was as a person, made new friends, and focused on work. In those same years, my boyfriend was married and struggling with an addiction. Him and his ex-wife split about 1.5 years before we met, and he got clean about 3 months before we met. 9 months into our relationship, I got pregnant. We were both excited, and our families were ecstatic, so it was a great thing, but unfortunately ended in a miscarriage. Our entire relationship, and even more so after that, I have been open about wanting to get married and have a family. He understands this, and I feel like he has the same feelings. It's been over 2 years, and we are not engaged. Our relationship is great, and I couldn't ask for a better partner and teammate in life, but I feel hesitation when it comes to proposing. I don't want to bring it up often or pressure him in any way, but he is almost 35, and I'm almost 30. I don't want more years to go by without marriage or starting a family, both things I know that I want. I feel like if he doesn't want those things, as heartbreaking as it would be, we would need to be with people who want the same things in life. Should I be concerned at this point in time that he hasn't proposed? Should I give it more time? What should I do?
Okay, we've not heard that one before.
Yeah.
You need to have a come to Jesus talk with him. You just sit down.
Yeah, you just have to say what you want.
Sit down and talk to him and really get a schedule in the game. It's not pressuring. You're 30.
2 years is not, it's not like, oh my God, what has he been doing not proposing to you, right? So it's not like he's crazy for not proposing, but also you haven't brought it up that you're looking to move to that next step. So I think that that's just natural. I don't think it's like he's, right? If it was 7 years, then it'd be like, okay,
I don't
move
know.
on.
I don't know what they have. I don't know what they have or have not spoken about, but I think that you're correct. Age works against you as a woman, unfortunately, with this. So I respect what you have to say. I think to really sit down with him and have a real heart-to-heart talk and come. It's not an ultimatum, but you have to have a date, an approximate outside date as to when you think it's going to happen, because you can have a year engagement, another year before a baby, and you want more than one kid, I assume. So you need to sit down and talk to him, get a real feeling about it. Hopefully he's fully honest and transparent, doesn't waste your time. And I think that, it sounds like you have a nice relationship, so he loves you and cares about you, so I'm sure he'll be honest. But you need to sit down with him and really, you both have to be on the same page. If not, then you both have to move on.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of guys, by the way, Bronny, a lot of guys get comfortable. They don't want to discuss it. They don't want to deal with it. The relationship's good. Why fuck with it? Why ruin it? That's their mentality.
But then he has been married before.
Correct. So she's come from a very different position than he is.
So you just have to tell him. You have to talk about it.
You have to sit down and talk about it, and then let us know. I know it's probably old. You're probably married now with 12 kids.
Hopefully, that'd be nice.
Right. But let us know.
It's not that old.
Hopefully,
it's like 3 months old.
Hopefully, you're still listening to what we have to say, Hannah. But let us know what happens after you speak with them.
Yeah.
All right?
That's the only thing to do is you just have to
have no choice.
Especially since you guys seem to have like a good relationship. Just sit down and you just say, look, I want this. Am I waiting 5 years? Am I waiting forever or what? And
it's not going to be easy, but you must do it.
Yeah.
All right. Love you, Bronny.
Love you too.
Guys, peace out, everybody. You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.